In the afternoon, about 3, he is dead. I breathe freely again, but only for a short time. Soon the silence is more unbearable than the groans. I wish the gurgling were here again, gasping, hoarse, now whistling softly and again hoarse and loud. It is mad. What I do? But I must do something. I prop the dead man up again so that he lies comfortably. Although he feels nothing more, I close his eyes. They are brown. His hair is black and a bit curly at the sides. For a moment, the face seems almost healthy. Then it collapses suddenly into a strange face of the dead that I have not often seen strange faces all alike. I wish Kat were sitting here beside me. If my mother could see me. The dead man might have had 30 more years of life if only I had impressed the way back to our trench more sharply on my memory. If only he had run 2 yards farther to the left, he might be now sitting in the trench over there, writing a fresh letter to his wife. The silence spreads. I talk and I must talk. So I speak to him and say, "Comrade, I did not want to kill you. If you jumped in here again, I would not do it. If you would be sensible too. But you were only an idea to me before, an abstraction that lived in my mind and called forth its appropriate response. Now I see your wife and your face and our fellowship. Forgive me, comrade. We always see it too late. Why do they never tell us that you are poor devils like us, that your mothers are just as anxious as ours, and that we have the same fear of death and the same dying and the same agony? Forgive me, comrade. How could you be my enemy? If we threw away these rifles and the uniform, you could be my brother, just like Kat or Albert."
That was our rendition of All Quiet on the Western Front by Eric Maria Remarque. With it, we've shown quite a few interesting facets of the book, and I'm glad I would recommend it as a fascinating read. One thing that really stands out about this book is the use of rhetoric, specifically pathos. This book really hits you in the feels, making you feel the sheer desperation and panic that Paul felt, that heart-wrenching guilt of killing someone, that faltering hope as he tries to save Gerald, the dying soldier. In particular, his desperation is emphasized through rhetoric, in this case repetition, as Paul repeats "comrade" to reassure him. In these ways, this book does an excellent job at using rhetoric to appeal to emotion. Another thing this scene shows is the characters that All Quiet on the Western Front displays. Paul is shown as a person who can be terrified to the point of doing horrible things, but still cares deeply about people. Gerald is also characterized masterfully, showing his pain in his family, giving hints to who he was. This is a brief example of the characters shown, but you can see how deep they can be in just one scene. Meanwhile, you can also see the way the plot works with suspense. You can see the periods of chaotic, intense battling, and also the times of tense peace. You see the immense strain and panic of war, as you die for color and act only to survive. You can also see the times of quote-unquote peace, where despite Paul not being too deeply in danger, he's still terrified, losing hope, and losing someone he's gone from killing to caring for. This is displayed through Remarque's excellent usage of literary devices. His vivid imagery makes all that transpires clear to the reader, allowing the text to seem even more real than our beginning scene makes it. He also excellently uses rhetoric to convey intense emotions, which we touched on earlier. One last example we'll provide is symbolism, which can be seen with the paper that Gerald held, which symbolizes the man that Gerald was, that Paul had now killed. Yet another great facet of this book is the perspective in the world that this takes place from. It's not only occurring during World War I, one of the bloodiest wars in history, but also on the German side, where countless soldiers had to face a slowly lost war. Scenes like this show the chaos of shells slamming across the battlefield, as soldiers were diving for cover and killing, being trapped for who knows for how long, and so much more. All this is unique to the place and time this takes place in, and it's an amazing reason to read this book. Furthermore, the book's contrast between tradition and rebellion against tradition makes it an even better read. This scene is a great representation of this, as it shows both Paul's traditional side in war, trying to kill a man without hesitating, and also the side that rebels against this, choosing to try to save a man's life. Another excellent reason to read the book is because of what it has to say about things like race. It's touched on many times throughout the book that race shouldn't matter, especially in this scene. With it, Paul is just killing because Paul's German, Gerald's French, therefore they're enemies. Surprisingly, in this moment, Paul sees that despite their ethnic differences, they're not so different, both being victims of war. Lastly, identity is a great reason to read this. Constantly, Paul's identity is being questioned, with one particular question standing out. Is he a soldier, or the man he was back at home? Sometimes he seems to be the soldier, such as when he tried to kill Gerald, but he tends to act like his old self quite often as well, such as when he chooses to help Gerald afterward, displaying kindness in spite of it all. All these things are great reasons to read this book, so give it a read. It's a great book, which I'd especially recommend if you're interested in how war changes people. So, by that, I give you purchase All Quiet on the Western Front.